I really, really, really want to say hi. How you doing today? Doing okay? Good. This is Miss Janice, your natural hair care practitioner, tutor, and I wanted to make sure that I get the opportunity to hang out with you today. I don't want to miss an opportunity just in case there's someone that comes on that has a question that needs to be answered, a concern. One of the things I want to do today is to go over filling out the application. And I want to tell you to please, as a tutor, you make sure that you cover every aspect of what you're tutoring. I went to the store today and I got the GED preparation, to train you, to teach you what's going to be on the test, what the examples of the test. They have a computerized test. They have the type of test, like, or the type of questions. There's going to be like drop down boxes. There are going to be multiple choice. There's going to be fill in. And one of the things that is suggested, because I said, you want to read every single thing that you're doing. You don't just want to go in there and learn something and then just stop. Anything that you do now, even if it's working at, I can't even think of a store, but you want to get better at it because everything is not going to stay the same. I remember when we first started working with cash registers and it was and the door would just open. Now you're working with cash registers, you got to get a little data training before you can do the cash register, know what the different things mean or the different symbols on the computer that you're working with. You're pushing buttons, you're sliding in cards, or you're pushing in your chip, or you're sliding your card. I mean, everything is changing. So what that means is you as a person should on purpose go further than what you're learning. That's what I'm teaching you as a natural hair care practitioner. They're already starting you out at the gate that once you take your test, once you pass the test, once you receive your license, once you get your registered number as a licensed natural hair care practitioner, you want to continue on. You don't just want to stop there. Oh, I got my license. Now I can start to here. No, I'm telling you now the plan, what you want to do once you get that license. And one of the parts of getting your license is you have to fill out this form. This is one of the forms you have to fill out. And at the top of it, it says, I'll let you read it first and then I'll turn it around. It says Health Licensing Office. Remember, I told you it went from HLA, Health Licensing Agency, the Health Licensing Office. I called it the agency when I called a few days ago, or several days ago now, and the lady said Health Licensing Office. I mean, she didn't even say, no, it's office now, or let me slide. She said Health Licensing Office. Okay, and then it says Board of Cosmetology. This is the form that you have to fill out, and you have to. It's called a natural hair care certification application. They have an email address. They'll tell you when you call that the address has been changed from 700 like Multnomah to 1430 Tantum Avenue Northeast, Suite 180, Salem, Oregon 97301 2192. And the reason I'm telling you this because if this has changed, like the address in the building, and then Health Licensing Agency has changed to HLO, and they put it in the parentheses, there's something else on the test has changed. Or you should get an idea that maybe something else has changed. Let me get a new module to see whether this is in the module now. Okay, and then it says www.healthoregon.org/HLO. And when you go on the website, you want to make sure that you put in natural in the search engine. That's the one that has the it looks like a magnifying glass, and you want to put in natural hair care certification application. and it usually just takes you right to it. And if you get frustrated, make sure that you text Miss Janice 505 695 2647. 505 695 2647. That's my text number, and I'll be able to walk you through it. Or if you are receiving training from Ms. Janice and you want to pay the $75, because I'm getting free. But if you want my text help or my over the phone help, that's another number. But if you want my over the phone help, that's, you have questions that you want to ask, even regarding getting your GED or getting your license or like that. If you have questions that you want to ask regarding the personal test itself, you want to make sure that you those numbers and get those finances in, because I plan on taking the test in October. I plan on taking it in September, but I plan on going with my students in October, and they are letting me know, and they're making sure that they get the opportunity to go over and review and to know like how many questions is on the test. It's 25. I am not going to tell you the answer to the question on the test like that, but I will know how many there are because I'm going, I really next Monday, and I should get my license by then. And to let you know or to show you that it is not hard when you study. When you go over the work that you're supposed to have the test in, it's not hard because you're going over it constantly and you're making it, and you're making it you, and you are becoming it. You are becoming a licensed natural hair care practitioner. You're becoming, because you're learning all the rules, the regulations, the requirements, the statutes. You're learning everything, the laws, the standards of what it means to be a natural hair care practitioner. That's why you're going over this with me every single time. And you're noticing I'm not letting up. You are going over this every single time. The difference is that you should be starting making videos. You should be starting making videos. Or I already told you that I'm looking for a licensed natural hair care specialist, practitioner who specializes in locking. I'm already looking for that. I'm going to open me up a licensed facility. I'm already telling you that. You're going to get to see what happens when you follow through with studying, with learning, with understanding who you are, what you're doing, understanding and knowing what happens, or the nature of hair, or the texture of hair, or you're going to know what it's like to get so deep into something that when someone even brings up something like I didn't hear you, you'll be thinking about hair, hair, hair. I'm just saying. Okay, so there are people that you're going to come in contact with that not only are afraid of tests. That's how come I'm continually telling you, if you continue with this, if you follow through with what we are doing, if you follow through as as a practicing licensed natural hair care practitioner. I told you, once I get my license, it's not going to be just to sit down. I showed you how we have the board out there. I showed you how we had the chair. I showed you how we're going to do practicals, because that's coming. It's not always going to be do this, do that, write this, move that. It's remember this, practice this. Don't have no. It's not always going to be rules, regulations. It's not always going to be statutes and standards. It's not always going to be requirements and laws. It's going to be more added, and one of the mores that is going to be added is called practicals. And as a practical person, a hands-on type person, that's the type of license establishment that I want, a license facility that I want to have, because I want to teach this one-on-one with people. And I want to be able to have a place where they can come and practice doing the hair and the styles of the hair, and the practice weaving and receiving finances as they're doing that. That's what I want. That's what I want. And so that's what I'm going to get, because that's what my prayer is. And that's why I'm teaching you, or I'm tutoring you, so that you can work with me. You know already in advance, before you get into the licensed facility called Lockster's Embassy, that before you get in a person's head like this, with your hands on, with your gloves on, You want to make sure that you've looked at one of my tutorials all the way through regarding a module. The reason being is if you sign a waiver, right? You sign something saying, I've already, Miss Janice, I've taken your tutorial. I know that I'm supposed to do something that you did in the tutorial all the time. One of the things that I remember is when every time you said practitioner, you did this, or like that. You need to know what Miss Janice knows. You need to know that. You need to know that there has to be covered receptacles. You need to know that. It shouldn't be. You have to know also that everybody that has a license is responsible for cleaning the facility. And so, as a practicing, excuse me, natural hair care practitioner, hallelujah, what you want to do is you want to be able to look around and then write down, Miss Janice, I noticed this today. The receptacle cover was off, or I noticed as I was going around that there was hair on the counter, or I noticed that one of the, you don't even have to tell me who. What you do is, because um, what you excuse me, what you practice is what you do. So if you're continually practicing wiping off your chair and sweeping the floor and changing uh, the cape, the protection of the client, if you do that on a regular basis as a practice, it's going to become the norm, and you're going to feel like, as you probably feel kind of funny not doing it, because you have to convince yourself not to do it. And that's uh, a cause for being fired. That's a cause for being fired, especially if you have your license. That means that you already took the test. You already know. You've already studied the module. You already got your signed certificate, because these are things that you have to have in order to do the sit down test. And that's what they call it. They call it the sit down test. And because they call it the sit down test, that right there tells me that there's going to be practicals. There's going to be stand up. There's going to be a stand up test. Okay. So I wanted to let you know that some people that you're going to encounter or come in contact with are also, they're not only afraid to take tests because of a mindset that they have. So we're getting over that. That's how come we keep going over and over and over and over. And now I'm asking questions. And the more I ask questions, I'm finding out that more stuff is coming. Like I'm remembering more. Okay. So if you know somebody that is afraid to take tests or have a fear of taking tests, that's the first thing you'll get. That's the first thing that you're going to get rid of, and that's by continually telling them that you're setting it up for success. That's what I tell my clients that are studying with me, that I am setting you up for success in every area of life, not just as a practitioner, not just as a business owner, not just as an entrepreneur. See, because these rules can go with you everywhere. I say it again. These rules can go with you everywhere, in every job that you encounter that you want to do. If you decide to be a cashier, be the best cashier ever. Be the best at go to work asking for manuals, modules. Read through how to work the cash register. That's what an IT does. And I, as an intelligence information technician, that's what an information technician does. An information technician literally takes the time, like me, to go over every single aspect of what they are doing. And then after they learn the basics, they continue on and do more. So you already know somebody, even it might be yourself, but you look at yourself and how you're beginning to become calmer and calmer with taking the test. It's like I'm asking questions and you're typing the questions in, you know, and you're the first one to type the question in. Others are typing a question in too, but you're the first one. So now you're trying to, you're not trying, but you're becoming the first person that answers the question. That right there says something. That's to say something to you, that you are becoming more comfortable at learning the language or the lifestyle of a licensed natural hair care practitioner. You're becoming comfortable with the lifestyle. It's like myself. I'm becoming more comfortable with becoming my brand. So much so that I'm putting it in my environment. I'm literally putting Miss Janice in the environment. I'm like when Father said in the beginning, "Let there be light," and light appeared. I'm saying I'm putting out there my licensed facility. I'm putting out there my licensed facility, but I'm just not putting it out there and doing nothing regarding it. I'm getting finances so that I can fill out the application, and it tells you on the application everything that is required for whatever you're doing regarding natural hair care. Right here, the requirements for natural hair care certification application. The same way it has that there, it says requirements for natural hair care license facility, requirements for natural hair care independent practitioner, requirements for natural hair care, like that. Because you have to decide what you want to do with your license. You have your license in hand. Now, what do you want to do? And that's why I'm asking you now, because you're going to get the license. You're going to turn 30, you're going to turn 40, you're going to turn 50, you're going to turn 60. What do you want to do with your license at those ages? Is that kind of of an enthusiasm that you're going to have? I want to just do what Miss Janice does. I want to be a distributor. No. Okay, all right, I take it back. Now that I have my licensed natural hair care practitioner, I am a licensed natural hair care practitioner. I thought I wanted to do that, but I want to get into another part of cosmetology. I want to do facials, or I want to do nails, or I want to be a distributor, or I want to, but do something with your license that makes you stand out. And as I'm explaining it to you, I'm putting it in my environment, how I teach. I am a tutor and natural like and natural hair care practicing, or taking care of clients' natural hair. When I describe it as I'm teaching, I say I call us personal natural hair care practitioners. You can actually say you don't have I have more than a personal stylist. My stylist, or my hair care practitioner, or the person that does my hair, when she does my hair, she talks me through the process. She talks me about the strands of hair, the way my hair is growing, how come some is growing more to the on the right side than on the left, and on and on and on. She talks to me. She talks me through the process. As a matter of fact, she's the one that convinced me that I want to take the module so that I can become one. Because it seems hard, but it's not hard. It's not hard. You're doing it all of your life. The only difference is now you're getting paid and people are coming to you to perform on their hair. Excuse me. Okay, so it says meet the requirement. I'm doing the last page to the front. It says meet the requirements of OAR 331 Division 30. Now you remember in the beginning of the book, this used to be this was taken out of cosmetology school. I don't know if it's still in there or not, but but it was taken out as a section of cosmetology school, and it's a House Bill number 3409. So because there are rules and regulations, and this is, I believe, a rule that you have to go through the module first. And in order to prove that you went through the module, you have to, and before you take the sit down test, you have to have a certificate that says, I went through the module. And I showed you that already. Submit a completed application from prescribed, excuse me, submit a completed application form prescribed by the HLO, which is the Health Licensing Office, which must contain the information listed in OAR 331 030 0000 and be accompanied by payment of the required application fee, which is $20, and certificate fee, which is $25. And then it asks you to see which methods that you can pay with. So the application fee is $20 and the certificate fee is $25. So what they're saying, in order to take the test and to hand application, you have to pay $45. Because that's the part, the certificate fee. See method of payment section above. And then we'll do that when we go from the first page to here. Submit 2 forms of acceptable identification as listed in OAR 331 030 0000. And the reason I'm reading it all is because I'm mzjanis, the word reader. It's not like they're going to have this on the test, but you want to be able to not hold a piece of paper in your hand and tell somebody that you have to fill out, you have to go through the module. You don't have to tell them the rules and regulations the first time, but you're going to eventually tell them because you're going to constantly do what I'm doing. You're going to, the person who you mentor to receive their license, to receive their application, to receive their certification, to receive the opportunity to do follow through, to receive the opportunity to practice on hair or whatever, any one of those things that I just said. You want to be able to tell them what they need to do to be like you. Because that's basically what people are doing. They're looking at you and wanting to be what you are. Okay, now as they're being what you are, you're going to be improving so that they can improve. Okay, and that's what a tutor does. That's what a mentor does. Whatever you want to call yourself, you do it to the best of your ability. The best of your ability. Okay, submit 2 forms of acceptable identification as listed in OAR 331 030 both of which must include applicant's current legal name, front and back of legible, clear photocopies if submitted by mail. So you can also tell them that they can submit this by mail. But because when you go to take your natural hair care practitioner sit down written test, and it's a walk-in basis from Monday through Friday. I believe on Monday it's open at 8:30 to don't know. I forgot. I want to say 4:30, but I'm not sure. Okay, but I know that on Tuesday through the rest of the week is 9 to whatever. And the area is open at 8:30. And if you're going to take more than one test, it because there's the hairstyling, the natural hair care styling certification, like that. There's so much. You want to take the test to become a fingernail person. That's not what it's called. I said it earlier. To do manicures and pedicures. Sorry, hold on. Let me get this out. to do, to do, to get certified to do nails and nails. We call it pedicure, manicure, but to do, pedicure, manicure, but to do nails. And then to be a barber. So if you want to do natural hair care practitioner, take that test, and then you want to take the set aside test to be a barber, and then you want to take the like that. If you want to take different tests, they ask you to come early because they allow you, as long as you want, and the facility is still open. You can, I believe, you can take that long, but you don't want the tests are not that long. So they say, and you can go on the HLO website, www. Hold on, let me tell you again. That's really how I got to know, because I was like, well, what is wait, what is OAR 331? What it says according to it said we meet the requirements of OAR 33, and that's what they're saying. Those are the rules, the regulations, the requirements. Those are the requirements of what you need in order to take this test. www.healthoregon.org, and then in the search engine, because if you go to what they said in this module, you'll never find it. You won't. I was trying, and it took me to. You won't find it. And if you do, woohoo! I'm so happy for you. That's why I'm going over this with you. That's the only reason. Because some people are not, computer savvy or internet savvy or whatever you want to call it. And as a person who's tutoring, you need to be able to answer some of these questions. So let me go back to this one, because some of it is already on here, but they still tell it to you. It says submit two forms of acceptable identification as listed in OAR 331-030-0000, both of which must include applicants. And one of the reasons why they say that is because some people that are taking the test are not citizens yet. So they have to have like other things, like the card to work in the United States. I don't know if they still call it a green card, but they had the little, like DDL, whatever. I see, like that. And I didn't think to remember all of the things. I just remembered what I needed. And as I'm remembering, right, I'm remembering that if some people are afraid to take the test, there are going to be some people that are not computer savvy, so they're afraid to go online, or they only have their phone as the internet, and they didn't think to go to the library to get copies or like that. See, and that's how come I'm doing what I'm doing right now. At least one form of identification must have your photo on it, so they it's okay. This is this example. It's okay if you have your Oregon ID or your Oregon driver license, because you get an ID number, and once you get a driver's license, you can use your driver's license, which has your ID number on it, as your ID. And another one is you can use your Social Security card. I have my Social Security card, my birth certificate, my Oregon ID, and my passport. Now I have to decide which one I'm going to use. And if you have a passport that's not expired for 5 years, so it can't be expired over 5 years. Cannot. Okay, submit proof of having completed the informational training modules regarding natural hair care available on the HLO website, and complete and pass a board written examination within 2 years before the date of application. So you have 2 years to pass the test. That's basically what they're saying. And so there's no need to be disappointed that you didn't pass it this time, because I was telling you before that on the page, hlo.org or www.healthoregon.org, on that page that I was reading regarding the natural hair care practitioner license, being licensed as a natural hair practitioner, it said something like if you failed the test 7 or 8 times. But with tutoring, constantly reminding, that's what tutoring is, a constant reminder. And then it puts your mind in a place to where it says, I know this. I'm ready for the test. You take your cape off, and then you sit down and you just take the test. That's what mzjanis does. It's almost like if you do what mzjanis says, according to how she does it, it makes it even simpler. It makes the test simple. Like I was thinking, or for example, excuse me, I was thinking that a lot of the tests could be multiple choice. If it's multiple choice, you know, but some people don't do multiple choice. Some people remember like fill in the blanks. So if you took a test that was fill in the blanks, or if you took a computerized test, and some of us wouldn't be able to do that because it's like a computer, whereas you get the practice in now. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Do the tutoring now. Get the practice in now. Do the practicals in now. And then find out what you already know. Get some 3x5 cards, or take notes. Taking notes is so much better. One day I'm gonna come on and I'm just gonna start taking notes from what I read. And then you're gonna just have to show me your show me, like you're gonna video yourself showing me what you do during a module, or a 21 page module go through, because it's like doing a game. I cannot wait to do the practical parts of this. I can't wait to after, next Monday. I should be starting after next Monday because I'm going to take the test on Monday. And I have someone take me. So the only way I won't get to take the test on Monday is if the person didn't show up. And I'm planning on going over their house. So if I didn't show up at their house. Okay, let's get started with the questions. Natural hair care certification application. So you already got your license. You already have either your social security card, or you have your ID. You only need two of these, or you have your um, birth certificate, or you have your ability to travel passport. Okay, so you're going to fill this out, and you're going to put your last name, your first name, and your middle initial. Okay, now check this out. You can do this on the computer and then print it out, or you can do this, print it out, and then write it. It doesn't matter, because if you took it down there and and you just have it in your hand, and they say, well, you didn't check this off. See, you're not going to be able to come back home to your computer unless you live like real close. But anyway, you're not going to be able to go back home to your computer and check it off because you did all the rest of it with your computer. No. So what you want to do is you want to take your time and make sure that you have the time to be comfortable, relaxed, and fill these out. Fill out the forms in a comfortable, relaxed state. Okay? So you're going to have your physical address that's required, meaning not a P.O. box. And required is in bold. City, state, zip code, mailing address. Oh no, it must be 9 o'clock. For some reason, I start yawning at 9 o'clock or after 9 o'clock. You tell whether you're male or female, your birth date, and then it says social security numbers are required. Have you ever been known under any other name? If you put yes, it's list the full name or names. Do you have or have you? They're not talking about Pookie, um, Lumpkins, those type of names. They talking about like if you've worked and then they called you um, Marvin, and your name is M- Marvin Key. Like like if they go to your job and say, "What's his name?" And if they say don't say like the whole name Marvin Key Johnson, or Marvin Key L Johnson, but oh, his name is Marvin Johnson. You see what I'm saying? Because that's a real name. So they want to know your real name, and if you had any other names, um, I'm trying to think of somebody that's professional that just has like one name. Like Whoopi Goldberg. She was born Karen Johnson, like that. Okay. Uh, anyway, you know what I mean. I'm not going to explain no more. Do you hold or have you previously held licensure, certification, or registration from the health licensing office or any other state? Yes or no? And I put yes, but then it says, if yes, please list information below. And so after I did that, this is all I put. I put Oregon, the license or certification, and then asked for the registration number. I didn't know that. So what I put was a licensed medical assistant, or licensed medic, CMA. And then the expiration date, 2004. That's when I believe it expired. So I called and I told the lady this, and she said, "We'll find you because it's the same office." Okay, then your initials, it says initial. So what you want to do is you want to read everything, because before you get, because I just did it, so that's why I'm telling you. Before you get to the gray area, you read the box. Before you sign anything, you read the box. You read, because it says do not write in this section, official use only. And I saw the word initials. But then when I saw OTC, I know that that means over the counter. So, and then in that box, it says, are you taking the written exam, or are you taking a re-exam? And then it asks what type of ID did they verify. Okay. Method of payment: Visa, MasterCard, Discover, cash, check, money order, and or and then they ask for the amount and the initials and approval code. Now, hold on. It says submit a complete application form prescribed by the HLO, which must contain the information listed in Oregon. Let me see. Is it 303? Okay. It's 3310 dash, no, 331 dash 030 dash 0000. 331, yeah. Okay. But right here, and then it says application fee $20 and certificate $25. See the method of payment section above. So when you look at this form online, it's like this: one here, and one here. It's just like that, right? But so when they said above, this is the section they were talking about: cash, Discover, check, Visa, MasterCard. And they have it 3 times. I believe, now I'm just believing this. I'm not knowing. I believe that it's because of each, like, if you do it, come in again, and this form comes up, this application right here comes up, that's how they'll know that you're doing a re-exam. So you already paid it once. Remember, you have 2 years before you have to pass the test. It's not like they're going to keep doing another form, another form, another form. No, they're going to have you in the system. They're going to put you in the system. And then once you're in the system, they have um, um, spaces for each time you do it. You either take the test or you come back again. Then they can find you your license number, and then say, for example, you want to become, now you're going to fill out a form to become a licensed practitioner, an independent contractor. So they're going to tell why you verify the time, like that. It's like it's a continual record of who you are. You're not going to keep one record and another record. No, because just like your ID or just like your license, every time something goes negative, well, they don't hardly do anything positive except for, oh, you got a new car. Congratulations. And then they write up all the information, but they still use your number. If your number is 3812217, then that's the number that they're going to constantly use, look you up, verify who you are. Is your address the same? See, your number stays the same. That's what I'm talking about regarding this. Okay, let's do number two. It says individual record questions. Please accurately answer the questions below. The office may review your information through the law enforcement data system, other governmental agencies, and private vendors to confirm the accuracy of the information. Any misrepresentation or failure to disclose information will result in disciplinary action. It's not saying, it isn't. It's not saying that they're going to take the license away. You don't get the license even after you pass the test, etc. Or you pass the test and then they decided to do the law thing, or they got to you, because it could be a whole lot of people. So they got to you and then they say, wait a minute, she didn't put that down on her paperwork. See, that you already passed the test. You done went home and opened up a shop and everything. It's just that there'll be disciplinary action. And the reason I'm telling you this is because of what this says. Are you now or have you ever been the subject of any active or inactive disciplinary action or voluntary resignation of a professional license, certificate, registration, or permit imposed by a licensing or regulatory authority in this or any other state? Discipline action includes, but is not limited to, probation, suspension, civil penalty, or any other sanction limiting in any way a license, certificate, registration, or permit. If you answer no, then you don't have to do anything. But if you answer yes, please explain and attach additional pages if necessary. It says, have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor or felony? Yes or no? If yes, please list all convictions, including the charges as stated in the court documents and year convicted. Attach additional pages if necessary. So when I called, because I had spanked my daughter and it got expunged. I got in trouble for spanking my daughter, and I had to do like community service and community service. I had to pay restitution to the court. It wasn't a lot, but still, I had to pay some, like $100 maybe. Probably wasn't even that much. But if I put no, and this is what I asked the lady, I said, should I put yes because it got expunged? She said, do this. Put yes, put what it was called, put the year, and put it got expunged. Because she said, if it didn't, I had the paperwork, but she said if it didn't, and you how did she say it? And if you get called on it, thinking it is expunged, and like somebody for some reason said it wasn't, because expunged doesn't mean that it's not written down somewhere in the world. It's still written down. It's just that it shouldn't be a negative mark against you anymore for like working with children or I don't know, anything. It shouldn't just be a negative mark because you were honest. That's what she was saying. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. You're very helpful. It says, as of today, are you on probation or parole? The answer is no. If yes, you must provide a letter of release from your probation or parole officer authorizing you to obtain or an authorization to practice. See, so you can still practice. It's just that the process for everything is longer if you're on probation. But if you say no, and then the company, the health license agency, does a background check on you and find out that you're on probation, see, then that will just make your ability to practice or do or have clients, just the process will be longer. So don't be afraid. And even if you are on probation, or even if you are um, do have a check against your name, still don't be scared to fill out the forms, because you do get forgiven. You get forgiven. You, you get forgiven. If I get, I mean, I felt like bad for years for spanking my daughter, but not really the spanking my daughter part, because I sent her to school, and she had to tell, because I told her, if someone asks what happened, tell them that your mom spanked you. And then when the school called, did you spank your daughter? I said, yes, ma'am, I did, or yes, sir, whichever one. And they said that we had to take her to CSD, because anytime um, allegation, or the rules, the laws, the statutes, the requirements, the standards, the that. Uh, I mean, if somebody spanked your kid or hit your kid, you would want them to go to jail, or get in trouble, or get it looked at, or what's wrong with her, or right? Well, if you're the one that did the spanking, anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway, so but don't be afraid to do. Don't be afraid to follow through. Don't be afraid, because we're the ones that look down on ourselves more than anyone else does. As a matter of fact, when I used to, it was years ago, like in 2000. But anyway, when I was still like in that environment of, having to go through anger management, that was another one. I had to go through anger management. One of the things that I did, it made me afraid to be around children, not people, but around children. It made me afraid to, it just brought up different emotions that I didn't even know I had. It brought a little fear, because now it's like everyone knows that I'm in trouble. How are they gonna know? It's not a look that you have, But anyway, that's what happens up here, and that's what I'm telling you. A lot of stuff that goes up here with taking tests is only up here. A lot of stuff that goes on negative regarding filling out forms, a lot of stuff, just go for it. Just become the best you that you can. As my children were growing up, I would tell them, like if they'll say, I'll ask them, what do our parents ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, and expect to have this deep conversation, and and they wouldn't really. Sometimes they would say, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a preacher and stuff, and then I would tell them, whatever you want to be the best that you know how. Just be the best. Continue your education in it. Go for it. Right. So one day they didn't answer. I don't know which one I was talking to, so I'm saying they. And I said, okay, even if you decided to be a bum, be the best bum. If you get so hungry you want food, just find a napkin or something and just start wiping off the tables, and tell the people that are behind the cash register that you're wiping off the tables because you're hungry and you want something to eat. And they will feed you. Only because I'm telling you now that they will. Because you're not going to be no bum, because you're too smart to be a bum. Then I go, like what I'm doing, you give you the pep talk. Go for it. Okay. And then, as part of your application for initial or renewed occupational or professional license, certification, or registration issued by the Health Licensing Office, you are required to provide your Social Security number to the office. This is mandatory. The authority for this requirement is ORS 25785. ORS 305, 385, 42, USC I don't know what that symbol means. It's two S's, one here and then one connected to it. 405 C2CI. And the C, the two, the C, and the lowercase, the capital C, and the lowercase I have separate parentheses. It says failure to provide your social security number will be a basis to refuse to issue or renew the license, certification, or registration you seek. This record of your social security number is used for child support enforcement and tax administration purposes, including identification. The HLO will use your Social Security for these purposes only, unless you authorize other uses of the number. Your Social Security number will remain on file with the office, right? Now, that applies also to what I said a little bit earlier. So, if your Social Security number is on file with the office, what are they going to put the Social Security number with? Right, your registration number. And that's how come they go together. But even if you do old child support and you are trying to do what's right, I remember when it was my turn and I thought I had to, I was so happy though. I was like, you know, because I had wanted to do it. And so they followed through with, talking to my employer, not talking like blah, blah, blah talk, but, writing. They had to fill out forms and stuff like that. And, and they literally found out that what was required of me meant that I wouldn't have no place to live. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do nothing. I mean, it wasn't like I was gonna quit my job and become a doctor the next day. I not only had to pay child support, but I was supposed to pay the medical because there was like I think my daughter had run away from where she was, so she was no longer uh, uh, like organ health or children's services division. She was no longer a part of that, but she was too young to really work. And so they found out. So they wanted the parent to take care of her. And so they found out, and I did too. I didn't know that it cost that much because I'm like, y'all heard me say I was excited, right? But as time went by, I didn't have to pay nothing. But then I was like, oh man, I mean, at least they could have worked something out, But I didn't have to pay anything, and I was happy because it was like 300 and something a month. I think it was like 385 a month for health insurance and for something or more. It was like I would have had like $128 a month to live off of. That's what I said. Exactly. Because I was bringing home at that time 800 and something a month, I think. Not a month, a paycheck. So I would have had enough to maybe eat, but I wouldn't have had enough for my health, like that. Because I looked it up. I was like a happy camper. It wasn't like I all of a sudden no, no way. I'm quitting my job. I'm finding me an under the table paying job, and I didn't go there. I was like, I'm going to do this. I started praying and talking to Father and telling him how happy and excited I was. And nope, it didn't work like that. But that's why I'm saying I'm so thankful for everything that happened to get me to this point to where I can talk people through. Don't try to hide stuff. Don't try to hide who you are. You're going to have to come out of that someday. If you don't come out of it, like as a licensed natural hair care practitioner, they actually give you an opportunity to be a licensed natural hair care practitioner. They know how much we make, and then you get the opportunity to know how much you make too. But as a licensed natural hair care practitioner, I know there are laws regarding taxes and laws like stuff like that. That's why I'm constantly telling you that you have to have a covering. You have to not necessarily be an employee, because that's one of the things that you can do as a licensed natural hair care practitioner. You can work for somebody, but you can also work for yourself. You can also be a licensed natural hair care practitioner who is an independent contractor and blah blah blah. You see what I'm saying? There's ways not necessarily to get around it, but ways so that the state and the government can cover you. You know, you're doing the up and up. You're not trying to hide anything, but they will know, you know, how much a person makes, you know, because you want to start being honest and up and up so positive things can start coming to you. And that's what happened to me. Positive stuff started coming to me. And now I'm, like I said, I'm giving you the choice of paying me. I'm giving you the choice of paying me. And I'm going to be here for a while. And when natural hair care practitioners have to start taking practicals, and then they're going to have to go and receive, like, do so many hours of continued education units. And as a natural hair care practitioner, I'm still going to be here. And you can be like, oh man, she said that she was going to do this. She said that she was going to open up a licensed facility. She said that she was going to teach. She said. That's why I'm trying my best to get you in on $75. And I'm even giving you the option of not even having to pay me, but to do all of this on your own. But when you get that checkoff list, then you're gonna have to be, taking the modules, paying the $75, because you're not gonna want them to go from your facility to um the health licensing office. You're going to want them to go to a mzjanis, and there's going to be more of me. There's going to be more coverings over people, so that when it's time for them to fill out the application, they can say, Miss Janice did this. I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was so upset the day that I went into her office, because there's a check off list. You want them to check your character, to keep you in check. See, if there's somebody over you to keep you in check, you want to stay in check. If there's somebody that, you know, this is the third time you got a negative character review. What's going on? You want I'm telling you, you want somebody, and you don't want it to be the health licensing office. You don't. Okay, that's the covering part. It says, as of today, oh, we did that part already, and we did that part. Okay, look at this. Look at this. The health license office. It says ORS. This is another one of those statutes. 181 dot 534 comma 560.280 comma. So all of them authorize the health licensing office to conduct criminal background checks, and the office requests that you voluntarily provide social security number for this purpose. And the other one is to get a license, and for, like, if owe child support and stuff like that. This one is you voluntarily do it. So they can't use, if you give the license up here, they can't use it down here. Okay? So they actually need to voluntarily give them permission to access your social security number, so that they can do criminal background checks. See, because up here they say, we might do a criminal background check. Look, the office may review your information through the law enforcement data system, other governmental agencies, and private vendors to confirm, right? They're making it seem like we might not do it, but here it makes it seem like, I understand my application may be subject to a criminal background check. I'm just saying. Anyway, so That's why you want a Miss Janice, a covering, so that you can actually get the opportunity to go to somebody for counseling or to help, or you know, because you can say, I've talked to my mentor, I talked to my tutor, I talked to whoever, whoever I'm going to become, because I'm going to talk to the people at the state and see, is there such thing as a licensed natural hair care practitioner being a, I don't know what it's called, but I had a name for it the other day. Like, is there such thing as a licensed natural hair care practitioner having an inspection agency? A licensed natural hair care practitioner inspection agency. And what that is somebody who studies the laws and visits, because it says in the module that there that you have to have your license agents no your license facility open for inspection. But I wonder, as an independent contractor, can a licensed practitioner be or build or make or create an inspection agency, so that they won't have to keep calling down to Oregon to have someone come, but somebody that's right in the area? I told you all, as a licensed natural hair care practitioner, they're leaving this open, so much so that there's no, I know they're not going to say you can't do that. They're not. I mean, how can they say you can't do that if you've read the module, followed the module, got your license, become a independent contractor? An independent and contractor together can be anything. You could be an independent contractor who owns an inspection agency, who goes by and, you know, they can't say you can't come in, because it already said that your licensed facility has to be open to the health licensing office, right? Okay. But since cosmetology has been so separated in so many different um, areas, somebody beside myself is thinking about becoming a licensed agency, a licensed natural hair care um, practitioner agency, the agency that goes around and inspection agency. If not, you're probably thinking of it now too. Like, yeah, all I got to do is follow the rules that are written on this form for independent contractor, one, and then do this, this, and this in the agency itself, two. Well, if I got to do it on a regular basis for my one shop, anyway, I'm just saying, I'm trying to tell you, there are ways that people can take this license opportunity because it is so new. Right now, there really are no terrible laws regarding it. It's the option is open. It's like an open window, and whoever gets in first, second, third, or fourth, and I know I'm amongst the first, second, third, and fourths, because let me Google it. Hold on. Okay, Google, where can I find a licensed natural hair care facility inspection agency?
These came back from a search.
It's natural hair care training module and certification, Board of Cosmetology, Chapter 690, Oregon State Legislation. Hold on. And that's going to talk about having a covering, because you want to make sure. Okay, it's this cosmetology professions, occupations and professions, barbering, hair design, Aesthetics, nail technology, that's the fingernails and toenails. Natural hair care, generally definition for ORS 690.005. Prohibited acts, exemptions, rules, certificates, licenses, permits, and registration. Application for certificate or permit. Practitioner certification requirement and rules. Waiver of educational requirement. Certificate prima facie evidence of right to practice rules. None of this is highlighted or underlined. Independent contractor registration requirements, facility license and temporary facility permit requirements, examinations, demonstration permit requirements, freelance license, board. I like that one too. I like the freelance license. That one you can do that anywhere, like in any state. You don't have to be governed by. I take that back. The only thing you have to do is you because you already have your license. The rules in another state might change, so you are governed by their rules, but you already have your license from another state, so you're already following the rules and regulations of natural hair care. Like in North Carolina, they call them natural hair care licensed natural hair care specialists. Okay, powers of boards, rules, disciplinary authority of health licensing office, chairperson rules, meetings, rules of health licensing office, approval of Oregon Health Authority when domestic use of facility permitted, inspections. Hey, all it did was get bigger. So it says inspections. It's real. Oh, here you go. For when it says 690.005, it was talking about the now it's giving the definition of it as used in 690.005. Barbering means any of the following practices when done upon the human body for cosmetic purposes and not for medical diagnosis or treatment of disease or physical or mental illness. Shampooing, styling, cutting, singeing, and conditioning of the hair of an individual, applying hair tonics. So let's go down and see, because now this certificate means a written authorization for the holder. Okay. Aesthetics mean any of the following skincare or facial care practices performed on the human body or face for the purpose of keeping the skin of the human body or face healthy and attractive, and not for medical diagnosis. Okay. Temporary removal of hair, makeup artistry, eyelash services, facial and body wrapping, facial and body waxing. Facility means an establishment operate on a regular or irregular basis for the purpose of providing services in one or more fields of practice. A field of practice means the following cosmetology disciplines: barbering, aesthetics, hair design, nail technology, natural hair care. Freelance license means a written authorization that allows a practitioner to practice outside or away from a licensed facility. Hair design means any of the. This is what I do. I didn't come on to tell you all that. I came on to let you know and to get you comfortable with getting this form and filling it out. No matter what the form says, you be as truthful as you possibly can, because the door is open for you to walk in. And this is in such a baby stage. Cosmetology, natural hair care practitioner is in such the baby stage right now that I'm even asking questions like, can I be an inspector once I get my license? Can I be one of those that go around like they do at restaurants? They do reviews. Can I be a reviewer that people are either happy to see or terrorized at? Oh no, Miss Janice is going to, or Miss Janice came in out and she wrote a review in the paper today. I'm serious, you guys. What I'm doing is going to be so recognized that, and what I'm doing is protecting the natural hair care practitioner's license in the state of Oregon. That's what I plan on doing. I am not going to let anybody take this away from me. It's allowed me to become a tutor in so many areas. I've already GED with a pathway to becoming a licensed natural hair care practitioner. So it's like if you decide to take your GED from my um, format, which is called a community, that's the format I have, or platform, which is a community. We started with natural hair care practitioner, right? Then I could go online and find out that if you go to Penn Foster, you can actually get your GED. They tutor you to get your no, they tutor you to get your high school diploma. That's what they tutor you for, to get your high school diploma, not your GED. And they tutor you from the high. They allow you to be tutored from a high school in Pennsylvania. And so I'm finding out that that's possible because it's online. So as I'm tutoring, I was thinking of taking the course, and I've already asked. I've already talked it through, made sure the lady on the phone from the school, I have her phone number. She gave me her name, her number, her personal contact. And she said that all I am not able to do is to give the answers to the tests. Like I'm going to. And they would know that I did because I'm doing all of my work online. And I want to make sure that people know to use my name, Miss Janice. Because if somebody decided telling me, well, she didn't teach that, she didn't show us that, everyone knows that I read the book. I read the module. Okay, I'm going to let you all go because now all it is I hereby voluntarily consent to disclose my social security number to the HLO for criminal background checks, verification of military status, and reports to the Healthcare Integrity and Protection Database. Because anytime you do something wrong and someone tells on you, that's where the wrong and someone tells on you goes. The Healthcare Integrity and Protection Database, because they want to protect their laws. And that's like I'm telling you, I want to protect the license that I have, the license that I carry. You hear me? You hear me, right? I'm using my license. I'm practicing even talking about it. But I take my test. I haven't taken my test because I have not started doing any modules. I mean any practicals yet. I mean, I haven't had you start doing any practicals yet. I've started. Failure to provide your social security number for these purposes will not be used as a basis to deny your application or to deny you any right, benefit, or privilege provided by law. If you consent to the use of your social security number by the HLO for these purposes, it may be used only for these purposes. And remember what I said, if you say no to stuff, it just makes your process longer. That's it. I told you up earlier that you being honest is not what gets you in trouble. Not That's not it. You being honest on this form does is not what gets you in trouble. Because if you think about it, you're already in trouble. You have already tried not to be honest, and now it's coming at you again, and you have a fear. Don't be afraid to fill out this form. Don't do that, because it's going to come to haunt you, or it's probably haunting you already. Like I told about child support, and the one reason why I told about child support is because of what it said on this form. But I was really happy, genuinely happy to pay child support, genuinely. And they work with you and put and excuse me, they work with you in paying it. They work with you in paying child support. If you today have a job and you decide to, you know, they decide to fine you or however it works, and they see that you're only making $76 an hour, I mean a day, only 76 hours a day, and you're only working 3 days a week, and say the norm for child support is for one person, I think it was like, I don't know, probably $600. I have the foggiest idea. But they were willing to work with me. And then I found out I didn't have to pay it. They didn't have to work with me because the agency, Children's Services Division, that agency found out that I wasn't responsible for my daughter. It was either the grandmother or like that. I wasn't the legal guardian anymore. And I hadn't been for like forever, like since about 2000. But that's when, like I said, when she was little, she was like 9, almost going on 10. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much again for coming and hanging out with Miss Janice. I'm trusting and praying that you are as successful as you can be in every area. I don't mean say successful, I mean prosperous, because prosperous is expanding. Successful, but prosperous, that's a stance, that's a promise. I would that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul like that. So prospering is a promise that will not be broken. Is a promise from Father that will not be broken. So I want you to be prosperous. And before we go, I want to say I'll thank you for hanging out with me and calming down about filling out this application. If you have any questions, you know, allow me to know what they are by texting me 505-695-2647. That's my text number, 505-695-2647. I want to thank you so much for coming and joining me today. This is Miss Janice saying, see you next time.